The Las Vegas Raiders, Tom Brady is going to be a massive piece of the collaborative effort to find the new head coach. I'm excited to see what he brings, what questions he asks versus Tom Telesco. I saw somebody tweet me and say, Tom Telesco is trying to bring in Brandon Staley. I don't think that is the case.
Highly doubt it.
I do not. I saw somebody say the writing's on the wall. He's going to try to bring Brandon Staley back in just like they did the Chargers. I don't think Tom Telesco is going to do that. I don't think that is going to be the direction in which he's going to try to go. But if Tom Brady's a part of this, Mark Davis is part of this, how much does Tom Telesco actually say in who the head coach is? And how much does Tom Brady have to say, Darius Butler?
I mean, I would assume he would. I mean, you would have probably the biggest voice in it. And that's just an assumption. If you're Mark Davis, obviously he has been around the business for a long, long time with his pops. But, you bring a guy like Tom Brady into the ownership group, you would assume he would have a big voice. Tom Telesco, he's got to be in it because this is the guy he's going to have, be essentially married to with their head coach, whoever they bring in there. And the Raiders, they've been a shit show, since the hirings and the firings. But at the same time, that's still an iconic brand. That's a global brand. So this is a big job. You got to get your quarterback. If you don't hit on your quarterback, I don't care who's in the room, who's making. We just saw Rand Carthon. He got fired. You don't hit on that quarterback, you don't have a chance unless you have an ownership group that's going to say, hey, we're going to be patient and we're going to give you 3-4 years as long as you show us some progress.
And because of the fact of where they are in the draft, I think they're at 6 right now, and you guys, I want to know what you guys all think, but do you think there's any chance, because of Tom Brady's relationship with Shadur, of course, that maybe prime Deion Sanders gets an interview where it's hey, if we do bring in this guy, we might not get Shadur at 6, but if we were to hire his dad, you could probably assume that they're going to get him.
Interesting conversation about Shadur right now.
Yeah.
And Cam Ward and all the quarterbacks coming out. I am not a draft analyst. I do not study the film and project where people are going to get drafted. I've seen Shadur spin it. I've seen Shadur take massive hits. I know that Shadur has been around NFL brains his entire life. I saw what they were able to do to Colorado, turning that place into a nothing, into a massive something every single week. And obviously, there's other stars around him. But I just naturally assume, Shadur is going to be a guy in the NFL. Then you hear some of these draft experts, and they're people we're talking to are saying Shadur ain't number 1 overall type of guy. There's people saying that if Aller was coming out this year from Penn State, which I think is still a decision that has to be made because of the projections of what he could potentially be, not even what he is now, but what he could be would make him the highest rated quarterback. And then Cam Ward is being discussed as one of the top quarterbacks as well, as he should. The guy is so sweet to watch play football, and what he brought to Miami changed their entire culture as well. But there's people that aren't as high, I think, on Shadur and Cam in the quarterback discussion as maybe we all would think from outside looking in. So at 6, are you okay? Because the way these drafts have gone is at the top is where the quarterbacks are going to go. People are trading up because they don't want to lose it. If they like a guy, they're going to go get it. Maybe that remains. Maybe that does remain the case with Shadur. Somebody falls in love and they trade all the way up to 1, 2, or 3 or whatever to get Shadur, to get Cam Ward, to do whatever they have to do. But from the rumblings that it sounds like that's been coming out in the last couple of days, once again, smokescreen season. We're in the middle of bullshit season for everybody. Is 6 a good enough position to move up a couple spots to 4 if you want to get Shadur or if you want to make any moves? I think so. They got Brock Bowers over there, who's potentially offensive rookie of the year with what he was able to accomplish. Max is still on the defensive side of the ball. You get a little bit of belief. You get a quarterback over there. Las Vegas is always going to be pumping. I mean, it's always going to be great. It's I assume Raiders fans think we're not that far away. And if they were to bring Prime in, and hire Prime, Coach Prime, obviously Colorado wouldn't be thrilled and everything like that. But that's splash hiring.
Yeah.
That gets Las Vegas pumped.
Yeah.
And then you bring in Shadur, it's okay, we're going to get the chance to experience this. That would be a massive headline winner. Would it be an actual winner? TBD. But I think all these teams that are in these positions of hiring new people, if you get a good hire, you bring hope back to your team, into your fan base, into your city, which is why these teams that have stuck by the people that they've stuck by have fans so bummed out. Go ahead, Ty.
I was just in terms of the Shadur and Cam Ward stuff, it's all situational. In terms of you have to get the right head coach because the Browns are definitely going to take a quarterback at 2. And from what we've seen over the last 20 years, it doesn't matter how good that guy is. They're going to have to prove that he can be history just says that guy's going to fail. The Browns are going to take that guy, and he's just never going to reach his potential. Shadur, same deal. If the Raiders whiff on their head coach and he goes there at number 1, there's a good chance in 2-3 years we're doing the same thing we do with a lot of these guys, where it's just like, oh, not that he's going to be a bust, but it's just like they missed on this guy. He's going to have to go elsewhere to be successful. So, like, it does. I mean, hiring the right head coach, and obviously the Brown situation is a little bit different, but hiring the right head coach means everything.
So, speaking of hiring the right head coach, North Carolina Tar Heels hired Bill Belichick. The Arrow from NFL Network, Tom Pelissero, is reporting that multiple NFL teams have reached out to Bill Belichick going, are you sure we want to go high school here? Are we sure we want to be dealing with transfer portal? Are we sure we want to be dealing with 17-year-olds and 20-year-olds that maybe are a little bit entitled and don't really get it? Or do you think maybe come coach for the Raiders? So Tom Brady allegedly reached out to his old ball coach. Now, was he just reaching out to say happy holidays, happy New Year because of all the great times he spent together? Or was he reaching out to say, hey, we get it. You took a stand. You said, I just want to coach ball. You're 15 wins away. Okay.
That's it.
You're 15 wins away. Do you want to do what you want to do? Interesting, fascinating. Because as soon as he was hired to North Carolina, the overwhelming reaction, even by people that hated Bill Belichick as a New England Patriot, was basically like, this guy's willing to coach anything. And the fact that he's not an NFL coach is bullshit. Even the people that didn't want him to become a coach for their team were saying, this is wild that he can't get an NFL job. It turns out, the Arrow's telling us, a lot of people are like, hey. Last year, that coaching cycle, those people messed it up. That's not on us. We are now in the market. Would you want to come? And I think it's a $1 million buyout, something like that, after June.
Yeah, after June, right? 10 before, 1 after.
Yeah, Belichick's UNC contract includes a $10 million buyout if he leaves prior to June 1st, which $10 million bucks. Bill Belichick can do that. Any NFL team can do that.
Yeah.
Anybody can do that. And then $1 million bucks, obviously, if he leaves prior to June 1st, 2005. And if he returns to the NFL, I think it's after June 1st, it's like $1 million bucks or something like that. So I think it becomes a very manageable contract. And I think he negotiated that way because this could potentially be an opportunity if the dream job opens up. Now, Mark Davis, Tom Telesco, would they allow Bill Belichick to come in and do his thing out there? If Tom Brady's saying, hey, this is what we're doing, I think they certainly would. How does Bill feel about it? We'll ask him next Monday. Will he give us an answer? Absolutely not.
No way.
Will everybody that's recruiting the same players that Bill Belichick is recruiting use this against him? Absolutely. Just like they were doing to Nick Saban for the last 10 years of his college coaching career, where they're like, he's quitting. That guy, he's Hall of Fame. He's already GOAT, brother. Mm-hmm. You think he's going to stick around for you if you come in? You need to come to us. Nick Saban was great, but he's not going to be there for you. They're using that already at UNC. That actually might be some other college teams telling Tom Pelissero that information right there to get Bill screwed out of recruiting.